MVP. That's one. Right field. Forget about it. Rangers strike first. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. From Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. A bomb into first. One swing. Drive. It's tied. Seager smashes the ball down line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field. Way back there. It's gone again. Corey Seager does it again. It's Texas Rangers win the World Series. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager.
Hi, and welcome to another edition, an emergency edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after the big breaking news. First baseman Nathaniel Lowe has been traded to the Washington Nationals for left-handed pitcher Robert Garcia. It's going to be a quick show. Tonight, I'm going to get on and go live after the Cowboys game, and we can talk a little bit more in depth about the Rangers. We'll mix in a little bit of Cowboys. Cowboys, of course, with the results of the afternoon eliminated, but we'll do a little Nate Lowe Rangers talk real quick, and then we'll do it a little bit later on tonight as well after the Cowboys postgame. So we're going to get into everything here in just a little bit. I'll give you my rapid reaction of the trade. We'll talk through Robert Garcia. What kind of player are the Rangers getting back in return for Nathaniel Lowe, a Gold Glover, a guy that routinely hits 20 home runs, 70 RBI, all that and more. But first, here at Right on Rangers, we cover everything sports, but we put a big emphasis on all the teams we love from the great state of Texas, including the Rangers and especially the Rangers during the MLB offseason. Thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for all of your Texas Rangers content. I'll get to some of y'all's questions and comments as best as I can. I am definitely a little bit curious to see what the Rangers do from here. I tweeted out live after the trade first got announced. Do the Rangers go make a bid for Pete Alonso? We kind of heard reports that they are going to be potentially making a splash move of some sort. There are some people in the MLB media that believe that the Rangers are going to make a splash move at some point this offseason. Are we thinking Pete Alonso? I really don't know at this point. When you look at the current roster, who you're going to have playing first base, I really don't think that you are going to be counting on Jake Berger to play first base for you 162 games. I surely hope we're not planning on playing Ezekiel Duran at first base like we did last year. I just think at this point, you've got to go get somebody either in free agency or you've got to go get somebody in a trade. I don't think who they currently have right now is good enough for 162 games. I just can't see it. So for me, I think you got to go sign somebody. There are some first basemen left on the market. Pete Alonso would be a very, very big swing. Very big swing. But I absolutely would be in favor of it at this point. I think you probably could have kept Nate Lowe instead of signing Pete Alonso. Nate Lowe for $10 million probably makes a lot more sense to me. Garcia had a really good, I would say, second half of the year, by the way. If you're not really familiar with Robert Garcia, just a few quick numbers on Robert Garcia. For the last 15 games of the season, you're talking about a guy that had a sub-3 ERA, lefty. Definitely a guy that the Rangers are going to be able to use in the bullpen. Last 15 games of the season, 2.63 ERA. Robert Garcia just acquired from the Nats for Nathaniel Lowe. That was over 14 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. The last 30 games of the season, Garcia had a 3.81 ERA. And that was, of course, in 26 innings pitched. Struck out 27 in those 26 innings pitched. So I got to say, the reliever seems solid. I think if you're talking about who won the trade, I don't know if that's going to be able to be determined at this point. You're basically trading major leaguer for major leaguer. And it does seem like the Rangers are getting a solid reliever in Robert Garcia. 28 years old, controllable, and had a really, really strong second half last year. Again, you're talking about a guy, sub-3 ERA, lefty specialist, a guy that can also get righties out. I'm going to look at the splits real quick on Garcia, just real briefly, see what he was like lefty-righty. Versus lefties, 226 batting average versus righties, 245. Looks like the ERA, I don't know if I'm going to be able. Okay, perfect. ERA against lefties. They don't do the split on that. I forgot about that. It's kind of hard to tell the ERA when you do the lefty-righty split. But look, much better, obviously, against lefties, but struck out more righties than lefties last year. He does have the ability to get the right-handed batters out. I think he's going to be a guy that definitely is going to be utilized in the late stages of ball games in high leverage situations where you need to get a lefty out. So I do think that the guy that they get in return for Nate Lowe, I do think it's a fair trade on the onset. Right now, I think the way that you make this a good trade is you've got to shore up the first base position. You got to shore up the first base position in some way, shape, or form, whether through a trade, free agency. I just don't think who the Rangers have right now is going to be good enough for the rest of the season for all 162 games. I don't see it. I'm happy to hear your guys' opinion, but I don't want Jake Burger. I said this very adamantly. I do not want Burger playing first base for 162 games. And I surely do not want to see Ezekiel Duran and Josh Smith and weird guys like that trying to play first base. I don't want to see it. I don't think there's really anybody to call up. I know Blaine Krim plays a little first base. That's who you've got in the minors. I don't know if he's ready to man first base 162 games. I think you're either signing somebody or you're going out and getting somebody in a trade, as weird as it sounds. Again, we're covering the breaking news of Rangers first baseman Nathaniel Lowe being traded to the Washington Nationals for Robert Garcia, a left-handed pitcher that was very solid for the Nationals, especially down the stretch of the second half of the year. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not really willing to say bad trade, good trade yet. It seems like a fair trade at this point, but it's only going to be a good trade for the Rangers if you can go out and get creative getting a good first baseman. I would have personally thought if you sign a first baseman by trading Nate Lowe, that might be fine. If you've got no other plan and you trade Nate Lowe, I don't know if I'm good with that. I think you got Christian Walker now off the market to the Astros. Paul Goldschmidt just signed with the Yankees. The options are getting limited. We're going to look at who the other first baseman options are. Let me pull it up for y'all. They were kind of going through it a little bit on X. By the way, I'm just doing a real quick one. I am going to be back on live later tonight after the Cowboys game. We're going to talk Cowboys. I'll talk more Nate Lowe trade later on. So I'm not going to be hanging out too long, but I did want to hop on real quick and discuss this with you guys. So here's who's left. Justin Turner, who really is not a first baseman by trade. Rizzo is left. Anthony Rizzo, 35 years old, played for the Yankees last year. All of us are pretty familiar with Rizzo. Josh Bell is another first baseman available. And then you've got like Rowdy Tellez. He had a negative WAR last year. I don't know if you're touching Tellez. He had some good years prior, but it's pretty thin. Joey Gallo, anybody? Joey Gallo, another first baseman that's available. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I really don't know. I think you've got to either go and swing big and get Pete Alonso, or you're going to have to get creative in a trade. I really don't see the Rangers trying to play Jake Burger for 150 plus 162 games. I don't know. Aaron, what's up, man? If you're still tuned in, Aaron says it was a bad call. I think it's a bad call if you don't have a backup plan. It's a bad trade if you don't have a backup plan at first base. If your backup plan was to put Burger there for 150 plus games, I just don't know if that's going to work. Again, I thought, hey, if you trade Nate Lowe, you can go get a Goldschmidt. You can go get a Christian Walker. Now those guys are gone. I can't bring myself to think that CY, Fenstermaker, Figueroa, all the guys in the front office, I can't bring myself to think that they just went ahead and traded Nate Lowe without any backup plan in mind. Right? Like they've seen Goldschmidt go off the board. They've seen Christian Walker go off the board to Houston. I really find it hard to believe that they go and trade Nate Lowe without any kind of backup plan. What's up, Christian? Should have kept Nate Lowe, Gold Glove, World Series year. We didn't have a bullpen. Somehow we got it done. Look, I think, again, good-looking trade if you've got a solid backup plan at first base. I won't be super pleased with the trade if they just play Jake Berger there 150 games. I don't think that's going to work. I do trust in Chris Young. I got to think there's a plan. Maybe I'll be coming back to y'all later tonight, and the Rangers have acquired a first baseman, and everything's awesome. Like maybe that's going to be the big splash. We heard reports that the Rangers were going to be making a big splash at some point in this offseason. Who knows? Texas Repo, what's good? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. All right, let me get to some TikTok comments real quick. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. See some people have followed along. Appreciate all the follows, the likes, the views. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. By the way, I'm trying to think about Robert Garcia. Let's go Robert Garcia Spotrac real quick, and let's just see what is Robert Garcia's current contract. It's got to be cheap because you know that the Nate Lowe trade is a little bit of a salary shed, right? Nate Lowe is going to make close to $11 million. So this is a little bit of a salary shed move. Looks like Garcia is due for $800,000 this year. So this is a salary shed move, which I think needed to happen with the Nate Eovaldi signing. Maybe the Rangers clearing way for somebody else, an Alonso, a Santander, a Corbin Burns. I don't know. We'll see. But looks like Garcia is controllable for quite a bit. We've got ARB 1 coming up in 2027. So this is a controllable piece for many years. So look, you're in win now mode. I think you've got to go out and get a first baseman, either through trade, somebody that's cheap. There could be somebody else available out there that you can get for cheaper in a trade. Maybe you go out and you go ahead and get Pete Alonso. That could be a move. I don't know what the play is going to be. I'm interested to see it. I really find it hard to believe that CY traded away Nate Lowe without any plan for a first baseman afterwards. I really have no idea at this point who they may still sign. Jeff Passan put out some names. There's one other guy in a trade that I think is still available. Let me tell y'all who he said. Lamont Wade Jr. I believe Lamont Wade Jr. is with the Giants. I know he was with the Giants. Where is he now? Let's check this out. Lamont Wade Jr., yeah, for the Giants. That's the other guy that Jeff Passan listed as somebody that is tradable in the first baseman market. He didn't really list anybody else. Here are the names that Jeff Passan listed out. We've got, looks like Pete Alonso, Rizzo, Bell, Ty France in free agency, Lamont Wade Jr., and Nate Lowe. Now Nate Lowe off the market in the trade market. So we'll see, y'all. Rapid reaction, though. Bad trade if you don't have a backup plan. If it's Jake Berger or bust for 150 plus 162 games, I don't love it. But if we can get creative, go get Pete Alonso, go get somebody solid in the trade market, I'll be a lot more happy about this trade. I do think Robert Garcia is a solid acquisition. Good lefty out of the bullpen, sub-3 ERA over the second half of the season, controllable for several years. I think it's a good move in that regard. What's up, everybody on TikTok? I'm not going to be able to hang out too long, but appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. Explain Robert Garcia. Dodgers going back-to-back. Meh. Don't know about that. Rangers, I think, even with Lowe getting traded away, I don't think this impacts their division title or playoff run at all. Pete Alonso, yep. VZ, I think that's definitely got to be something on their minds. Anthony Santander, JJ, that would be huge. That would be absolutely huge. I got to think there's something big coming up. I really got to think there's something big coming up. Jerry, what's up, man? Thanks for the comment. I do think Pete could be an option. Like, what is CY, Fenstermaker, Figueroa? What do they have up their sleeve right now? I got to think Pete Alonso, they got to be calling him right now. I am sad about Nate going. great teammate, awesome teammate. Very sad about Nate Lowe going. But look, I trust in CY. I trust in the vision. I just think they got to go out and get somebody. You can't throw Berger out there for the whole season. There's a big drop-off in defense. First base is one of the toughest positions in baseball to play. I think you got to go out and get somebody else. Yep, we traded Lowe for Robert Garcia, lefty from the Nats, controllable. Pretty good ERA. Let's go get our closer, Tanner Scott. They go get Tanner Scott. This bullpen is coming together pretty well. Like, the bullpen's a priority. I would love for them to go out, though. Pete Alonso could be a big splash. Yeah, maybe the money in the Nate Lowe trade. Jerry, this is a good angle. Jerry on YouTube says, could this money be going for a big bullpen piece? Potentially. You've got to think that this money, Nate Lowe is going to make near $11 million, is going to somebody. It's not just in a Nate Eovaldi kind of retroactive move, if you know what I mean. This can't just be to clear the Nate Eovaldi money. I got to think that this money is going to somebody. Yeah, look, Nate Lowe, solid player. I don't think elite by any means. I don't think like above average when I think Nate Lowe. I think solid, consistent. Gold Glover, good for 20 bombs, 70 RBI. I'm going to miss him. Great teammate in the clubhouse, but we're going to see what the Rangers have up their sleeve next. Look, it was short. It was sweet. I'll be back after the game tonight, after the Cowboys-Bucks game. Cowboys sadly eliminated from playoff contention, but rain or shine, win or loss, eliminated or still in it, we're here, just like we were all season long with the Rangers. So later tonight, we'll be back. We'll talk Cowboys. We can talk a little bit more Nate Lowe trade, but I am signing off for right now. Appreciate all y'all hanging out for a little bit, but we'll be back later on tonight. Come back and hang out. And as I always say to end every show, God bless.